Shalom, friends. It's the Kiva with Israel in 5. And like we mentioned in yesterday's video, this is a very powerful and emotional week here in Israel with Yom HaZikaron, Israel Memorial Day for fallen soldiers and terror victims, being immediately followed by Yom HaTzmaut, Israel Independence Day. And this gives us a great opportunity to remember the sacrifice of those who serve in the IDF. And of course, on Yom HaZikaron, starting tonight, going into Wednesday day, we're going to remember the fallen soldiers of Israel. But it's also important to remember the living soldiers, the standing soldiers, those who are currently serving in the army, standing on the borders, protecting the borders, fighting in this war in order to protect the world's one Jewish state. And we have a great opportunity to help Meir Panim help these soldiers, right? Specifically lone soldiers who are young Jews from around the world who leave their families, leave their countries, and come here to Israel to join the IDF, knowing that they're not going to have the family support that other Israeli-born soldiers have. And they do it anyway because of their love for Israel and their desire to protect the world's one Jewish state. So Meir Panim fills that gap, fills that void, and provides these lone soldiers with the necessary services and resources that they need and that they deserve, but they can only do it with your help. So please, I invite you to go to israel5.org/donate or click on the link below to open up your heart and give what you can to help Meir Panim help these soldiers to feel loved and to feel supported the way that they deserve. Thank you so much. As we said, tonight and into tomorrow is Israeli Memorial Day for fallen soldiers and for terror victims. And the question is asked, why this day? Why was this day chosen to be the day for Israel Memorial Day? The truth is that nothing specific or special happened on this day, but many, many decades ago, Israeli leaders decided that they would link Yom HaZikaron, Israel Memorial Day, with Yom HaTzmaut, Israel Independence Day, because before the country goes out to celebrate its independence, which it should and it knows how to, it should first, and we should first take an entire day to pause and to stop and to remember and to commemorate and to honor the tens of thousands of soldiers, of Israelis, of Jews who stood on the front lines, served in the IDF, and lost their lives doing so. Right? Before we celebrate, we need to remember. It's a very, very powerful Jewish concept. And this is how we enter into this season of these very, very powerful and special days. First by commemorating, first by honoring, and then by celebrating our existence, our independence. We mentioned that tonight there will be a siren in which the entire country will stop. And again, tomorrow morning, there will be another siren. Tonight is a very, very powerful and special time in Israel because all businesses will close, all stores will be closed, and Israelis will flock to ceremonies in their towns, their cities, in their areas in order to come together, to stand together, to give honor and to commemorate and to remember, to preserve the memory of those who have fallen in service in battle. And Israelis will attend these ceremonies, which will start at 8 p.m. Israeli time tonight, and it will start with the siren that will go off, and then the entire country will go silent. Everyone will stand in silence, remembering and giving honor, preserving the memory of those who have fallen. Over 20,000, 27,000 plus Israelis who have fallen in service. And specifically this year, just like last year, our hearts are even open more, even broken more, because of the almost 850 Israeli soldiers who have been killed in this ongoing war that started on October 7th, 2023, over 350 of them falling on October 7th itself. I go to the ceremony in my town every single year, and like other ceremonies in other towns and cities, the names of all of those soldiers who fell in battle, who came from our town, will be read out aloud, and we'll stand and we'll listen to every single one of them, right? Every single one of them deserves to be mentioned. Every single one of them deserves to be remembered. Very, very powerful start to Yom HaZikaron tonight. Again, stores and businesses will be closed. Tomorrow, the same thing, except for essential services like food. But once again, tomorrow morning at 11 a.m., once again, there will be a siren, and once again, the entire country will stop. The entire country will stand in silence when that siren goes off to remember, to honor, to commemorate. It's a very, very powerful, powerful thing. And this is our day. This is a very powerful and emotional day. Before we go out the following day to celebrate our independence, our existence, right? We need to remember at what price. We need to remember the sacrifice that has been made, that continues to be made, right? In order that we have our country, in order that we have our Jewish state. It doesn't come easy, it doesn't come free, we know that. Many, many years ago, at the birth of the state of Israel, a poem was written called A Silver Platter. And it was written by an Israeli poet who basically wrote that the country of Israel was not served on a silver platter to us Jews, right? It was served to us by the sacrifice of Israeli soldiers serving on the front lines, fighting that war. Back then, that war was the War of Independence, right? It came on a platter of soldiers who risked their lives and sacrificed their lives, those who died in battle, right, in order that we have a Jewish state. And we can say the same thing, right, in all the years and all the decades since 1948, right? Because really, on some level, this has been one continuous war, right, against our enemies on all borders, on all fronts, who continue to fight us in all kinds of ways, through conventional war and through terrorism, right, trying to break us down and to weaken us in order to get us out of here and to destroy the one state, the one country that the Jewish people have. We know that we'll never give in. We know that we'll never lose. We know that we'll never give up and we'll never give up hope. But they continue to fight. And really, since 1948, it has been one war with different phases, with different parts. And the one that we're in right now is our longest war, right? Again, the war that started on October 7th. On some level, excuse me, on many levels, this is our hardest war, right? We're fighting this war in a very, very different way with a different goal in mind. And on this day, we really remember that the state of Israel was not served and will never be served on a silver platter. As long as our enemies stand against us, right, there will always be young Israelis who have to go to the army, who have to train to become soldiers, and who have to fight in these wars, to stand on the front lines and fight against these enemies, our enemies, right, risking their lives, and in some cases, sacrificing their lives. And to all those who do, to all those who serve, we say thank you. Yom HaZikaron is a day to remember those who have fallen and also to remember those who didn't fall, but served and risked their lives, right? This is a day to give thanks to all the soldiers who have served in the Israeli army since the beginning of the state of Israel, and especially those who are serving now in this ongoing, very, very difficult war. But of course, it's a time to remember those who have fallen. And to them we give honor. To them we say we remember you and we will never forget you. And thank you for all that you gave and all that you did for your people and for your country, for your land. Your memory will always be preserved. Thank you, my friends. All the best and be well.